What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to a new video, and welcome to the next update in the PO420 crusade to find an answer and a resolution to fix this god doggone problem. But I felt like I've kind of blasted through a few more steps and tried out a few things, and let's go ahead and let's get this thing started. Okay, so now let's get into why I'm doing this. So why am I doing this? Mainly because I want to make sure that I don't want no drama with emissions, laws, breaking no laws, anything like that. I just want to have my power and be able to have some fun with it and chill. So for me, I just want to figure out a way to just to pass emissions. That's really the main reason why I'm trying to do it, and seeing what I have to do and see if I can come up with a solution with you guys' help as well. You guys have been really reaching out and helping and giving me ideas on stuff, so I do appreciate that to all those who have been. But my main thing is I have until December before my stuff is going to be due. I have two like emergency things I could do to try and make sure that I pass, which means I'm going to have to revert back to a few things, but we'll talk about that whenever we get to that point. Right now, we're staying positive because we still trying to figure this thing out. So one thing I did do is I did reach out to Cobb. I reached out to Cobb, and because I was thinking to myself, I said, well, maybe if I change out, maybe my catalyst is messed up, maybe it's damaged, blah, blah, blah. Let me take a look at it, and let me see if I can get that front section so I can have me one on reserve, you know, and be good to go. So I reached out to them. They got back to me within like 24 hours, and they pretty much told me that due to the agreement that they made with the EPA, they discontinued the J pipe. So you cannot buy the J pipe. They don't really have any replacements there. I don't think there's even one in the making for it right now, from what they were saying. And they did suggest the same thing that Andrew did at Cosmic, which is going back to the stock J pipe, and they hadn't seen, Cobb seen no issues when they ran theirs. I'm just probably gonna have to lose a little bit of power. So even though I might lose power, it'd be interesting to see just how much power you lose from my number now to there. So there's probably something I'm probably gonna do and get into, but they did tell me that. They also sent me the settlement, document, and I'll flash it on the screen or something real quick, but I will link it in the description. So if you want to check it out yourself, you can. Again, they could have just, told me what they told me and then that was it, but they kind of went above and beyond and just let me look at that information, which I think is pretty cool. So like I said, it's just that customer service, man. So that another good company, a good group of people to work with, man. So I really appreciate them. So shout out to Cobb for, giving me that information and giving me a quick follow-up and feedback from the question that I asked, man. So that's real cool. But one thing I did want to do is I wanted to take an opportunity to look at the actual sensors to see what they're doing and maybe pull up a graph and check that out. So this whole video was shot over quite a few days. So, excuse me. Let's go ahead, go in the car, check out the sensor to see what it's doing and see if we can see some readings and see what we can come up with. So let's check that out. All right, fam, we're in the car and we're gonna check out some readings on the scan tool here. So let's get into the car here, and we should be in Asia. We're already there. We're gonna click Subaru. And automatic detection, North America. And then there we go. System selection, we're gonna go engine. All right, and we're gonna go to live data. So now on live data, we're gonna look for a few things here. Trying to get with the O2 sensor. So we got oxygen sensor 12. Gonna pick that one. We got front O2 sensor heater current, but we're not looking at that or the resistance. Okay, we got O2 sensor 11, 12, AF sensor right there. It's giving us our voltage signal. And this is all 11, so it's kind of hard to see what those are. So let's pick that one too. They all AF sensor, but I'm gonna have to determine which one I'm really supposed to be looking at. Let's look at that one too, just to make sure we got the right thing and we can kind of see all of the readings that we get in here. All right, oxygen sensor ready. I think that's it. So now we're gonna click on custom here, and then that's how we can see everything and how it's changing. So I'm thinking our oxygen 12 is going to be our front O2 sensor, because it should be moving between 0.1 to 0.9, and it should be moving rapidly. And the rear O2 sensor should be moving around 0.6 volts, and it shouldn't move as much. It should be a slower movement. So that's why I'm thinking this may be more along the lines of what we're supposed to be looking at. But this thing here is just really moving. Hold on, wait a minute, I might be wrong. This may be the rear O2 sensor. So it says it's supposed to be around 0.6, which is where we are with this. It's still moving. So now let's, matter of fact, let's change the chart and let's put it on graph. So let's go here and then graph, and then we can see what it's doing. So now you can see what it's doing and how it's moving. And you see how that one's just dropping down, going up and down. This is what's making me think that this is our front O2 sensor. So I'm gonna run the RPMs up to 2,000 RPMs. So we have 2,000 RPMs, and there we go. And this is looking like our rear, this is looking like our front, because this is the one that's fluctuating the most. Okay, we let it go, and then let's see what it does now. And then it's dropping. So this one is staying more, it should be more like a flat line. Your rear O2 sensor should be more like a flat line and be barely moving. So like now, that's what it's changing to right there. I don't know if you got, hopefully this thing is focusing so you guys can see that. That's kind of what my hope is. All right. So now I guess the only thing we need to do now is we need to check the catalyst itself. So I got to remember, I got the camera, so I'm gonna take the camera, take the O2 sensors out, take a look at that and see what it looks like from the front and the rear of it, to see what the honeycomb looks like. See, make sure there ain't no holes or anything in that in there, so we can determine if the catalyst is, well, if it's damaged in any sort of way. I doubt it, but we'll take a look at it anyway. But that's kind of roughly what we got right there, dude. So we can go back to the list. And that's how we're shifting. That's how it's changing right now. Oh yeah, y'all. It's one more thing that I want to add to what we just looked at on the scan tool as far as those graphs. Looking at it, just by looking at the screen, yeah, it is changing, but it's looking the way it's supposed to look. The top line, which is your front O2 sensor, is supposed to be moving around a whole lot. And your rear O2 sensor is supposed to be practically like a flat line, which is exactly what we're seeing. So pretty much that's telling me that the freaking O2 sensor is fine, or both of them. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it looks like they're within, well, let me take that back. The rear O2 sensor look like it's out of range because it's supposed to be at 0.6. So I do have a brand new one, so I might throw that thing on there just to see if, you know, just for the hell of it, you know, just to see if it'll be a change in it. But I'm thinking I'm knowing what I have to do next. But I kind of want to make sure I add that little note in there before we move on to looking underneath the car to take a look at the cat. So keep that in mind, that what you saw on the graph technically is absolutely what you're supposed to be seeing. But like I say, the readings were a tad bit above where they're supposed to be, and they were changing quite a bit, like changing quick, and they shouldn't have been doing that. So it could be the O2 sensor, the rear one, but I don't know. We're gonna find out. So let's move on. All right, fam, we are underneath the car, and I'm taking a look at everything. You know, really your telltale signs, you got some kind of exhaust leak, is you're gonna see some little black char, and you know, like basically like just black char marks all over the place. And I'm not seeing none of that here. All of my freaking bolts are tight. Damn, I still got stock bolts on here. So when I have to if I have to swap back, it's gonna be quite the nightmare getting them off. I think I only replaced one. God dang it. The other ones break, they did me right. But I don't see no leaks anywhere. So what I'm about to do, because usually an issue that you can also have with this, if you have any sort of leaks before your first O2 sensor, that kind of throws everything off as well, which I'm not seeing. I don't really see anything there either. Nothing's getting through there. So I'm good there. So I think the only thing I want to do now is I want to get my scan tool and my camera with that goes with it, and I kind of want to run it through the front part right here to try and look at the front of the cat to see if there's any damage to the honeycomb there, and see if I can snake it around on this rear O2 sensor to see the back end of that. So let me get these O2 sensors off and figure out how, because I'm gonna set the camera up to look at the scan tool screen so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. All right, y'all, so here we go. Got the scan tool on there. Let's turn on the endoscope. And there we go. Wait a minute. No, shouldn't be looking at that. Let me see here. There we go. Now we're actually on the camera, so hopefully y'all can see all of that. All right, so let's get this thing in here and let's see what we're looking like on the inside, on the front O2 sensor bung hole. And as you can see, I'm trying to see if I can make this thing look all the way around in there. It's kind of hard to get in there because it's like right at the doggone O2 sensor. But for it look like, it don't even look dirty. It looks clean. I probably should have took a look at this thing before I put that that cleaner in here. Yeah, it don't look that bad in there. So let's take a look at the back end here. This was going to be a little tricky. Let's see what we can snake this thing back in there. This is not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do because this thing is not that easy to bend in there. All right. Now, can we get it to turn to where we can see? And that's what it looks like on the back end of it. It don't look bad. All right, well, that's kind of what we're looking like in there. If I can get it to turn in a little bit more. There we go. I don't see anything crazy in there. All right. So that's pretty much, shoot. Ain't nothing too bad looking in there, really. So, well, let's take a look at the O2 sensors too then. Here's the front O2 sensor. Hold on, focus, 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 focus. That's what that looks like. Doesn't look too bad. Let's look at the rear one though. All right, here's the rear O2 sensor. That thing looks pretty dirty. I do have a new one, but I might clean this up a little bit and then throw it back in there. See what happens. But I might be throwing another one in there. But this is what it looks like though. All right, well shoot. So, well, let me put all this back together and let's talk about what I've done so far. I just kind of wanted to check this stuff out real quick before I really get into any talking. So let me wrap all this up and then we'll chop it up about everything that I've done since the last video. Well, there you go, man. It's a lot to unwrap there, but going through all of that stuff, seeing what the readings are, well, and looking at the cat, checking the O2 sensors, checking for the leaks and all of that stuff. Not too much I could see there, so it pretty much looks like everything is working like it should. But let me give you guys a run through of everything that I've done on the car since the last video, to kind of, you know, as far as everything that I mentioned that I was going to test. So like I said, the first thing I did is I ran the E85 out, ran that out, and then I put 93 octane in there. Once I put the 93 octane in there, I ran that in there just to give it a chance to run through till the car get really used to running on that 93. And then at that point, I ran it down to a quarter tank. Now for the car, and just due to the dang, sorry, shook the camera. The fuel capacity, a quarter tank is right around about 4 gallons, a little over 4 gallons in the tank. So when I did that, I actually used this product, like I told you guys I was going to do, that Cataclean, because it's supposed to clean pretty much everything in the fuel system, but it's supposed to clean your O2 sensors and clean out the honeycomb and get any sort of like all that little soot and get all that out of there. As you can see on the inspection, when we put the camera in there, everything looked really clean in there. The O2 sensor still like I had a little black soot on it, but that was like way at the top. So man, I cleaned all of that stuff off when we put the put everything back in there. But I ran the actual product says you're supposed to run 10 to 15 miles on it, and then you fill the tank up, but gas again, and then you run it more diluted. So when you're running it at 4 gallons and you put this whole thing in your tank, it makes it extremely concentrated. So I ran like 25 miles on it. And then once I got to that point, I went and topped it off with 93 octane again and rode on it. So now at that point, I rode on the car. I rode until it got to 3/4 of a tank. And just to see if the area would clear on its own. It did not clear on its own. So I said, okay, well, let me help it out. So once I got to that mark, I reset the fault codes. And then from there, and by the time I got to a quarter tank, that was about 81 miles that I ran on before I got to 3/4 of a tank. Excuse me. Still, I've been sick, so I'm just now kind of recovering. So at that point, I reset the code, and I said, let me see if once I clear it, see if the code will come back or if it'll stay gone. So I think I got 8 miles and the code came back right away. Same thing, PO420 in efficiency, which pretty much leads into the fact that the ECU is looking for a certain number. Now, even though excuse me, y'all, golly, even though everything looks as though it was running properly with the sensors, switching and everything like it was supposed to from lean to rich, the ECU is looking for a certain reading from your O2 sensors. And even though they're performing like they should, like I showed you guys on the scan tool, that it was cycling from rich to lean like it was supposed to. Everything looked like it was running like it was supposed to. I mean, it's size like a little micro transitions with the rear O2 sensor, which it should be more of a slower process, which means I do have a brand new rear O2 sensor. So I'm just for the heck of it, I'm gonna throw it in there and see if it does anything or it changes anything. But for the most part, it looks like, it's like Andrew said, the ECUs, they're looking for a number, a voltage number from the O2 sensor, and if it doesn't see that, it's real sensitive. It's gonna throw that fault code, even though everything is working like it should. And the only thing it's gonna do is just give you that annoying light on your dash and make it hard for you to pass inspection. So I got a few more things I'm gonna try, and maybe I'll experiment with a few things, but right now, that's kind of where I am with it. So we still got the code, did all of those things, and that's just where we at. Now, another subscriber reached out to me. His name is John, and he sent me something, an ad of somebody who changed and add like resistors to their rear O2 sensor to try and kind of help, you know, slow it down a little bit so that it's not switching as fast. And I was going to try all of that. I was about to get ready to order everything, and he had already tried it. He sent me an email back and he told me, man, he was getting the he got the P0137 error when he did that, which is what I was telling you guys you would get if you use that little O2 sensor bong thing that kind of takes it out of the stream. It allows it to sense some of those gases, but it doesn't make it like blunt force trauma like it is when it's directly in the stream. It just pulls it out of the stream, which to me, it pulls it too far out of the stream, I think. But it causes you to get those sorts of error, and it's just saying that it's slow to react. So it just slows the reaction time of it. So that was that. So I can't try that. So like I say, at this point, I'm gonna have to get a little creative and figure out some more things, but that's kind of where I am with it. You guys have any ideas too? But there is a J pipe that there is out there, but I'm gonna have to get a little bit more information on that. So if I can get that information, I'm gonna reach out to the company and see what they say. I might have some interesting stuff for y'all, so I don't know, but we'll see. But pretty much that's where we are. Hopefully I didn't take up too much of y'all's time in this video, but I was just, like I said, I'm feeling like maybe y'all are interested in this information, so I'm trying to do what I can to try and help the community out, baby. But that's pretty much all I got on this one. So again, you guys, one other thing I want to say is I do believe in speaking things into existence. So hey, man, I'm gonna need you guys to, help me out and get me to that 5,000 subscribers. So I'm gonna say 5,000 by the end of 2025. Throw that in there, speak that into existence, dog. But anybody out, you guys out there, man, if you're kind of on the fence, man, it doesn't really cost you anything to subscribe, man, but it does a great deal for me, and it's helping the channel out, and it talks to algorithm. When y'all like the video, it and then when you guys communicate to me and talk to me and stuff like that, that all helps the channel out a ton. I appreciate the communication you guys give me, man, but man, I can still see the analytics saying that the most people that's on there, they not subscribed. So man, just go ahead and subscribe, man. Don't cost you nothing, man. Support your boy. If I say something funny, make you laugh, hey man, subscribe to your boy. If I can help you out in any kind of way, hey man, subscribe, support your boy. And appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for everything that y'all done for me and the channel so far, man. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell and hit all so you get notified when I put out a video. And until I put out that next video, fam, peace.